So this is the grid HTML, I mean category HTML. That this is the way it should display. So if you see that what we have right now, the icons are not displayed the right way because some are other the styles or some of other JavaScript functions or some of other div tags are not aligned correct. So that's why I actually have a plan to move all the pages to use structured layout JSP. So I thought this is the time we can I mean you guys can work on. So if you see this here, so I don't see the icons, right? Because some of the styles or some code is missing, is not coded correct in this catalog layout JSP, which means that when we are constructing the catalog layout JSP from the grid HTML, we might have missed some HTML code, or we might have uh, not added the script styles correct or in the order that it needs to be, or any other reason, some reason we have some issue. So we can fix this issue in this catalog layout JSP, or we can use structure layout JSP. um, I create a structure layout JSP for one reason. Somebody's trying to click. All right. Yeah. So yep. So structure layout, finally we have to use structure layout JSP. We want to get the catalog layout JSP, and then we have to use structure layout JSP using the same grid HTML. Okay, and this is the HTML that is displayed here and not here. This one. Oh no, 1 second. Okay, we want to make a structure layout JSP. Okay, so I was saying the same point. Okay, this is the structure layout JSP, which will have all like the JSP code and the HTML. The HTML is from this grid HTML. Okay, so we have to add the same way, like head will have uh, something like this. So we have to create this one, head, and then header, something. All this code has to go in structure layout JSP and structure layout JSP with all those included tiles. Okay, now this is what we have created, and it is not displaying the right way. So I want to see how that is displaying, so I just enable debugging. So this is structure layout JSP. If we come over here, and then I'm just, okay, I'm trying to reissue the request for category, and if you see that, it will, as you know, it will hit this landing page. Sorry, not land, category controller, this method, and then it will go end of the method, and then it will go here. It will call this display category and execute to populate the model object. And then when everything is done, finally, come have breakpoint? I should have breakpoint on the last line. Oh no, did not have. So it might have completed the request. Okay, so let me hit again. It's coming here. Say F8 to go to the next breakpoint here, and F8 to go to the next breakpoint, which is return view name. Right now, if I don't change this, it will load the, oh sorry, let me show you the value, category.jambira. If I don't change this value, the category jambira view will be displayed. So what is category jambira view? It is defined in tiles shop category, as I explained earlier, category dot jambira whatever star. This is catalog layout. So this JSP will be rendered if I don't change that value. If I change this value to category SL dot jambira, this JSP will be rendered. So I just want to change that value, so it will render the structure layout JSP. So for that, you have to go to the variables tab, return view, something will be there, right click, change value, category category.jambira to category sl.jambira, and then execute. What happens now? The new structure layout JSP code will be rendered here instead of catalog layout JSP code. So so if you have some issues, you always go and see here in the browser. I mean, sorry, in the town catalog. Why is it taking so much time? Oh, did it start? Oh, did it stop here? So if debug is running, this is what you see. You won't see any so lines like this. Say running, it's running. What happened? Okay, it's coming in. Come on. Okay, okay. You see, we added some HTML code in structure layout JSP and not added correctly. That is why it is displaying all this junky code. But it has added some what do you call HTML and with some dynamic data, and we also have this static data we don't use, and we have to delete that. All that, like first thing is we have to make that as a nice neat way, like like what we are displaying now here. Come on, in grid.html, you see everything. This is how it is displaying, right? So there is a change. I mean, there is a difference, at least, from what we are displaying. What we are displaying. Let me close this. We don't need that now. Is this new one? No, this is not new. This is structure layout JSP. So what we are displaying here is like junky code, like versus the neat HTML code. So there is something missing. So the HTML we use grid.html is not added correctly in the JSPs. Okay, so here, say for example, I don't want any dynamic data. I just want to display this grid HTML. I'll just go here. What I did, structure layout. Okay, Control A, Control V. So this is, I'm just displaying. I'm just trying to use structure layout JSP display just the HTML file. So what will happen here? If I reissue the request, I'm issuing the request. So it will display, it will come over here in the landing controller. Okay, I have to change that to category SL first thing. Otherwise, it will load the catalog layout one. Go here. If you are sure that you will be only working on structure layout JSP, you can change this value here only. So you don't have to change every time. But if you want to see the difference, like, yeah, you can change that. And if you want to see how that is rendered with the catalog layout JSP, you can always change that return view name to category.jambira. Now I have to change this to here also you can change. Okay, say click next. Okay, now category not this. I changed. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm changing. And in the structure layout JSP, I have not added anything. I just added plain HTML. I'm just issuing that. So we should see the very similar page like this. We are not using the model object that is constructed in the controller. We are not using any data that is coming in from the database, because we're just using the plain HTML which doesn't have any dynamic data. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is one other thing. So this is HTML is nothing but the same grid HTML. Okay. But the styles that are used in this grid HTML styles are nothing but CSS files. Okay, those are in the same folder. Okay, those are missing in our JSPs. That's why it did not display it right. Okay, where is this? Okay, all these styles are there in the, if you open this grid.html grid, right? So they will be there in this CSS folder. All these styles are added
for grid HTML to display it nice way. So if you remove this HTML, okay, if you remove these sorry, CSS files, uh, then it will also display grid.html also will display something like this. But okay, but this JSP do not have those CSS in the right path. Okay, you see this, this is in somewhere in Jambira structure layout JSP, and this doesn't know. Oh my God. Okay, this doesn't know about this CSS file, because this href is actually trying to CSS, so it will actually check in the current directory. Jambira, it will try to see if there is any CSS folder. If there is CSS folder, then this CSS file will be rendered into the the code, right? That is not happening, so you don't see that. Here, if you go here, Jambira, oh, not structure layout is shop templates, shop, I guess. Where is it? Web pages, shop pages, pages, shop templates, Jambira. Go, go, and then pages. Oh, sorry, here it is. Shop template Jambira. In their structure layout page. Okay, it is trying. Actually, it is trying to see if there is any CSS folder, and then bootstrap min.js CSS. So this folder is missing in this folder. So that is why it's not displaying it right way. So we have to give the relative path. The relative path is the path which is relative to this specific folder. Okay, that will come to know. Actually, there are some code already, right? We have written CSS, like how we added those relative paths in the JSPs. That will work. But I just want to show you like how this grid.html is getting with like this. So grid.html, if you go and see that grid.html, here in this current directory there is a CSS folder. Okay, so this has all these styles. Okay, so that is reason, that is the why, that is why grid.html, when you invoke the styles are displayed correctly. But in our JSP files, if we just add HTML, uh, it has not this could not find all these styles, and that is why it is not displaying it right. So now I'll just control Z, and we have to, that is why we have to use structured way of adding the HTML snippets in the JSPs. Okay, so how that structure, the structure is defined already by me. In fact, I created that structure. That is why that is structure layout JSP is what I created, and I have given all these styles. I have defined all these styles. We can add whatever the code we want. We can use the same structure layout JSP for any page. For now, it is for category page. We can use it for search page. We can use it for product page. We can use for any other page. But we have to have different at least body tags. Say I have a category page, I have a product page. The product page will have the same header, category page will have the same header, but the body of the category page is what it displays all the products, but where the body of the product page will just display the product details, right? So in that case, and the footer will be same for both category and product pages. So only the difference in this case is body. The body of category page displays the category, and the product page will display the body of the product details, whatever, right? So that is why we have the same structure layout can be used for any other page, and but the definition, when we are defining what exact JSPs need to be used in the tiles that we define, we have to specify that here. Okay, and structure layout JSP, after that is done, what I'm trying to say here. Okay, all this now. This grid.html code, the complete code has to be has to go in structure layout JSP and all these JSPs. Okay, say for example, head CSS JSP. Typically, it is advised and it is recommended that the CSS file should go in head section of the HTML. So that is why I just place this head CSS on top. So first thing is, whatever the head CSS, here if you see that these styles will go, this is the HTML that we are trying to create the JSPs, right? So this HTML code will go in head CSS. So head CSS, go here, tiles, here head CSS is nothing but head CSS. Control Shift R, head CSS. Head CSS will have those styles added. So if you see this, we have to change the path. Where in grid.html it is CSS, because that is what relative path for this grid HTML. This is what the path is, because it has. And in our case, all the styles and scripts are saved in resources folder, resources, templates, whatever, jambira, something like this. So we have to use this structure. Okay, if you see this resources slash resources, you would have this one, resources, templates jambira, and then CSS files, CSS folder. This CSS folder would be almost same like the one that is there in the grid HTML location. So this CSS folder, and then we'll have all the scripts added in head CSS. Catalog, not catalog, right? Structure layout. Where are we? Structure. Okay, so that head part is added where in the page? So we are going after meta tags, head CSS. This is where we added that head CSS page. Okay, and after that head, what we are trying to add, this is how we created. Maybe when you're working on it, you may need to create this page again, or you may need to see like some tags are added unnecessarily or something like that. So we have to have exact mimicking of grid.html to the structure layout JSP. Yeah. So after head CSS, header scripts uh, tile is added. Header scripts tile. What is header scripts tile for category SL view is again defined in header scripts. So this is what I created. Okay. Uh, header scripts JSP, and this will have nothing. I don't know why, but yeah, maybe this page do not need any additional scripts. Yeah, coming back to grid.html, after styles are added, this is the body it started. The body, what is the body? Mm, okay, body. Let's go grid.html for structure. So after body, so you just try to relate like what is added for what tag. So after all this div, header is added. That's what we explained right just now. And where is this map? Let me close others. So we're just trying to correlate just seeing like how this HTML code, grid HTML code is added in structure level JSP. Okay. On top of that, uh, we also added the dynamic data. Okay. And here in this case, I was here, I guess. So after styles are added, body tags are added, header scripts. This is header is added with this guy. Okay, this tile which is there in the tiles definition as head CSS and go down, and then navigation bar. This is the navigation bar. We have to add it, right? So this navigation bar definition is in somewhere here in navigation bar, or I don't know. Yeah, navigation bar. So that's why you don't see any code in header scripts. Maybe you don't see anything in header also. And then navigation bar scripts. Let me open this tiles. Header scripts has nothing. And let me see header structure. I don't think this also will have anything. And this is used for any feature. Oh, it has. Oh, header structure is nothing but header. The header structured HTML tags are added in this JSP file. Okay, so if you say here this piece is added in header structured JSP, and after that navigation after header script is done, header structure is done, navigation bar scripts. I don't think scripts will have anything specific. This doesn't have any code, which is okay. And then navigation bar JSP. This is the navigation bar JSP, which is actually rendering the tags, navigation tag of this one. This is navigation tags, right? Navigation bar. This navigation bar is added in navigation bar structure JSP. And after that, what is that? Next is breadcrumbs. These breadcrumbs are added next after navigation bar. Body scripts. Body scripts will not have anything, I guess. Okay. Category new JSP. After this is category new JSP. We will have some scripts. Okay. This is placed in the body, right? Okay. This one is the main page. Category new JSP. This in the body page. The body. This style is added in here, right? So this is the place the style is added. Yeah, yes, it is added, and what I'm trying to say here. Yeah, in the body, like after this tag, this one, sorry, here, right? Yeah. Breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are added in somewhere in here, and then this is the main section. So section is mostly goes in the body, and this section will be there mostly in category. I mean main page, body page. So this section. Okay. So when we are splitting the HTML code from grid.html into all these JSPs, we might have missed or we might have made some mistakes. Maybe we copied some tags in one page and we also copied the same tags in another page, and that is why we are not seeing the request correct. Let me switch back to this one, right? Second layer. So first thing is we have to adjust those. We have to make those changes. I mean, we have to find out like what extra div tags or what extra tags in HTML are causing and find causing and making the page not working right, not displaying it the right way. Okay. So we have to find that. So that is the task that I gave to you guys, so you will understand like how the JSP is structured, and uh, so yeah, that's why I just wanted you guys to start working on it. If you don't know anything, like if you don't know some technical stuff, you can see like, say if you are trying to understand this, you don't know what is li, what is li, so just google, you will know like li HTML tag, you will know something about it. So something like that, how to add a dynamic code in the JSP, or how to include one JSP in another JSP. So whatever the question that is coming in your mind, you try to get it in Google. Just search, try to get some information, try to understand. When you are reading something uh, in Google, if you don't find something else while reading for one answer, you try to Google for that. That's how we learn. Keep learning. Like if you don't know one word, say for example, one word like perception is coming. Perception, you don't know. What is perception meaning? Google perception, it will give that meaning. So that way you will understand step by step everything, but slowly. Yeah, it take time, but yeah, but that's how we learn. You don't know some technology, JSPs, first JSP tutorials, some JSP tutorials if they are explaining something about JSP, and some tags you don't know something about some tags or some scripting. You have to go and see the other videos on scripting, all that. Anyway, after this is how the structure is created. On top, what we want to see, this grid.html code has to go correctly in structure layout JSP and all these styles. These styles are defined in this JSP as a HTML file uh, to know like what to know what JSPs are used to in these styles. So those JSPs, yeah, that is the final, like that's what we want to see, like how those JSPs are created. Is there any tags missing here? Is there any tags that are missing in JSPs, or is there any tags that are additionally added in these JSPs that is not displaying no, the way that it has to be? That thing we have to understand. Okay, if they start working on it, make changes to you can make changes to structure layout JSP or whatever, all these navigation bar script and category new JSP. This is the main JSP. You can make any changes you want and see how is it working. You can delete everything, just say type okay, how is it displaying something like this. You can just do that and see how is it displaying. Anything you want to do, you can do it in local to understand how that structure is created. And that way, so you're learning like it is anyway. One time if you just request, it will come, right? So you don't have to deploy, so that's why it's a good for learning, and you can do that, right? Yeah, now I'm opening up for questions. Oh, there are already questions. Okay, okay, let me unmute guys. Okay, I don't know why I did not get the notifications. I thought let me just mute here, right? Bum bum bole. Come on, unmute. Yeah, I'm opening. All good now. Can I? First thing is grid.html is replica of structured layout JSP. I mean, we have to refer grid.html to build a new structure, right? Correct. Yes, absolutely correct. Yeah, grid.html is the reference for building up the structure layout JSP. Okay, so I guess I have explained. After that, I guess you got it. I don't know. Is it okay, Nagmani? You got it right? Hello. Yeah, you got it right. So yeah, this is a replica of grid.html is the replica of structure layout JSP. We don't say that it is a replica. The grid.html is the base to construct structure layout JSP. Okay, we use this is the base. Grid.html is we got it from the designer, and so we are making the structure layout JSP for category page. Okay, so this structure layout.jsp can be used for any other HTML also, but inside the tiles that we are using, right, are different. The tiles in this case, for grid.html case, for category structure layout case, category pages case, so it is category new.jsp, but the same structure layout.jsp can be used for product page also. In that case, the body tag, body tile will be different, which will be product new.jsp. Okay, so structure layout JSP we can yeah. So if you see that, that is the definition. So if you start working on it and just make the changes in the JSPs one by one, like, you will be able to correlate, and maybe you will be able to understand better. But yeah, on top view for this flow, yes, grid.html is the replica of structure layout JSP. Okay, we can create new HTML pages, or we can use that existing pages. Okay, so we don't have to create the new HTML pages. So the HTML pages are already there, and we have to use those HTML pages, and we have to create the JSP files. For now, in your task, we have a grid.html that needs to be used and create has to be created. The new JSPs. I mean, already create JSPs are already there, but some tags or something is missing. So we have to fix that. That's it. So we already have HTML. We already splitted those HTML into different JSPs, but something is missing there. Okay, yeah. So that's the task. So you will understand like how that HTML is split into different JSPs and how that dynamic data is added into the JSPs and all. Okay, and then your question is done. Existing pages. What is that? Is not complete existing pages. Okay, so you're just adding. We have to refer both grid data to create new category. New category JSP is already created, Nagamani, and so I created. In fact, I created new category JSP. So new category JSP will have the body of grid.html. Okay, and that piece of code which is called mainly section. The section. If you go and see this here. Let me see this one more time. I'll execute, and I want to get that as structure layout JSP only. Oh, so I did not change that view name. That is why it is loading catalog layout JSP. Okay, and now I have to hit again. Go there. So variables. Okay, so you can change like that also, or you can just change right click change value. So this is changed. Now I'm hitting 250. Oh my god. What did I change? Something changed. Gone. What did I change here? Okay, maybe sell SL. SL on that. Come on, go, go. Hmm, something happened. I don't know. Category. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Sorry, forgot. See, so I removed all the body tags from category new JSP. So that's why it's not displaying anything. The body, okay, the section itself is gone. So let me do this guy. Control Z. Again, if I do that, go back, issue the request, go here, can remove if I don't want. If I don't stop here, and then I'm removing. Don't stop me there. Go here, finally stop there. Why did it change? Why did I change? So if I change category Jambira to category Jambira, if I don't change category Jambira, okay, no, if I don't change or not change. So category Jambira view uses catalog layout dot JSP. Okay, this is what. Okay, so this is what catalog layout JSP, which is not structured it right. So and category SL dot JSP uses structured layout dot JSP. Category SL dot Jambira, sorry. Category SL dot Jambira uses structured layout JSP. That is why in this runtime I want to see how the structured layout dot JSP is displaying our data. So this is structured layout JSP which is displaying it this way, which is not right, and this has all junky code which needs to be removed or modified. Okay. um, so you can listen to the video one more time. I know it is lengthy, one not one time, two times, three times, I don't know, but you have to get 100% this time. Okay. So if you want to add if you want to learn any other technologies, yeah, you can learn, but let me know what you guys are learning. Yeah, that is the answer. Like I started explaining that only, right? Catalog layout, how that catalog layout, and why we are using structure layout JSP. So it is a new structure we created to have the scripts and the styles loaded in the right way, in the right order. Okay, that's right. So we have to change that to see the structure layout JSP changes. So simple. Your question to answer your question. Okay. Any other question? 2 more hours, 2 hours. Okay. Why can you speak? You can speak, right? Yeah, we need to delete the junk code. Okay. Do we need? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Unmodify that code. I don't know what is causing that junk code. Or yeah, just modifying the code would be a right word. Yeah. Maybe if you have any junk code, I don't think there is a junk code, but we have to modify the code. Okay. We have to modify the code to match it to the grid.html. Okay, so let me see. First thing is I have a clue for you guys last time when you find, right? Inspect. When I inspect this guy, I got something for you guys. Come on. Okay, this is the way. So inspect is no, very useful when you're working on JSPs and HTMLs. Come on. So you know like what piece is actually uh, displaying, what HTML is displaying, what part of the page, right? This div is displaying whatever is selected. Okay. Now, so if you see that here, so what we have now, I just got the clue for you guys is here. If you see header is added correct, I guess, and the div tag, and after div script, this is container, this is go container. Oh, come on. This is section. We have seen one other section, I guess. No, section insert section, I guess. So the container glass. No, is it? No, somewhere I have seen that. Control F. Section, section, and then one other. No, this one. Oh no. Okay, this container. New container div row. So the reasons like with my experience, what will be the reasons for this no page in no not displaying correctly is like we open div, we have to close this div something here, and then one other tag has to be started here. maybe if we are not closed this div and closed after this, the page will go bad. Something like that. Small mistakes could make the pages incorrect. So we have to see like all this code. Go here. This div is no. We have to compare with grid.html. Go here in the grid.html. Same. Where is it? Yeah. Here, inspect this guy. Inspect and see like how that structure, how that HTML codes are added, uh, um, how that in the order, like how that is created and what is the difference in structure wise. Maybe data will be different because here grid.html uses all sample products and all static code, where in our case it is a dynamic data, so it is coming from the database and all, so that will be different. But the structure of the div tags, structure of HTML finally should be same. Okay, so if you see that, that's what we want to see. If there is any change, say for example, there is a div tag missing in our code, but it is there in here. So we have to see like where in which JSP we have to add that div, and so it will come here, something like that. So okay, so we have to this one, and where is the other guy? This guy, not this guy. Okay, so if you go on top, go top. Okay, I can walk through, but it's taking time. Yours and mine. Close it. Okay, and this one out. Okay, Alt tab. Oh, no, slow, slow, slow. Okay, so head, body, simple. Head, body, head, body. So this one is grid.html, which will have head. Mostly head won't harm, but you can verify like what how head is created versus how head is created in our JSPs. And then body will have is having what here in this case, body is having some div and then other div. That's it. Div, other div. So this is the main div. So this is responsible for, see the how whole page is selected. So it means this div is this responsible for displaying almost entire page. Okay, expand, and in this here, this will also have a div and which is expanded. And then next, this div has sale offer box. Okay, sale offer box is nothing but it is actually displayed for here and in this place. So this one, the sale offer box. If you see there, that is also, and then header, sale header, come down now script. So I can remember four. So go here, sale header now, and script is missing somehow. Okay, so that is missing. I see that. And how sale, this one is you don't have to, and then how this header is created, so we have to see that and go there in grid.html, how that is the header. No, no, we were in grid.html only. So header will have a div class header container. So if you have different classes, that is also some issue. Okay, and div container, header container will have container will have some row. This div will have three different divs. Okay, so that's what we want to see in our JSP translated code. Container has div has three, which should be okay. And also we can see like how these are created. Okay, so this is not part of the HTML that is going bad. I think this is the place it is going bad. We have to see like how that, how, what is missing, something like that. So we have to see like how the structures are different from grid.html to the HTML response that is translated out from our JSP code. Okay, I think I'm done. Okay, yeah, any other questions? Oh, no, we need to delete it. Okay, it's already answered. Okay, any other questions? 1 hour, 1 hour. Are we good? Yes, yes. At least, yeah. One other thing is, yeah, you have to go through the video, two videos now, 2 hours, 1 hour, 1 hour videos, at least 2 times. If you get it, then okay. If you did not get it, 3 times this time. But these videos, I'm sure, like they are better than the previous videos. So at least JSP wise, how that is created, structured, and all is explained. Okay, so it is explained in a easy way. I feel at least I cannot explain much much easier than this. Okay, I'm a bad teacher, I guess. It's not. Okay. Yeah, let's. Yeah, no questions, I guess. If I don't see anything, I think there are no questions. I'm stopping the video. Yeah, go through the video and start making the changes. Aish and Rajesh and Nagmani. I'm done